Hello friends, this is Reddy from Wealthy Options. Welcome to another episode of 0DTE Pulse. Today is Nifty expiry. Let's see how the day went. So from underlying point of view, Nifty kind of almost opened the flat. Just 10 or 15 points gap up, and then that gap up is quickly sold into by another 50 to 60 points in the first 5 minutes itself, and then only to recover the entire gain in the next 5 minutes candle. So that's how the day started. And during this time, first 3 minutes straddle premium opened around I think 120, which is kind of 25 to 30 points overnight decay. And by 9:16, I think the premium available was about I think 106 to 110. So for the next 9:16, 9:17, 9:18 during that time. So because during the first 3 minutes Nifty was kind of consolidating, right, and it was not being a sort of a big moves, but from the 4th minute onwards, it started falling, and that it tried to break the yesterday's low. So this line, whatever you see here, it was the yesterday's lows. In the first 5 minutes itself, it attempted to break the low, and during that attempt, obviously as there was a risk of breaking the yesterday low, premium started going up. So it was not like a big spike in the previous days, but then so from 108, I think the straddle premium shot up to by 12-15 points, like 120, 123 levels. But so the real problem was not that, but during this fall, if you have taken the positions at a different times, so you would have either got the 24,800 straddle or 24,750 straddle. So but then this green candle, this big green candle, so this further moved the kind of straddle premium. So initially for 2 to 3 minutes. So this this IV spike, though it was like a kind of 15-20 points, but it came with a big move in the underlying, right? So because of that, if you entered something like 24,750 straddles, the calls will be in trouble. So because you are the delta is affecting your calls position, and then so it continued to go up, for the next, for half an hour. And in fact, from the day's low, Nifty moved by almost like 120 points, right? But during this candle, once this recovery came, so there was a linear decay. I think from 9:23 onwards, the decay kicked in. So from there it started falling, so which is good. But if you had a bigger stop loss or kind of a combined stop loss, for the positions which are entered at 24,750 or those levels and all, obviously they had a challenge, some challenge. But if you had some small stop losses, obviously calls got stopped out, and you would have enjoyed the directional decay actually. So you would have captured your algos would have captured the direction. So calls would have got out, and the puts would have made good amount of money. But the problem is some of my positions, very few, they suffered put stop loss. And then in this up move, I think most of the strategies, I won't say probably 70% of the strategies whatever I entered here, I took a so the call stop loss was hit, right? But then the linear decay, from here, so if you see the first half, so the decay was very, very linear, until kind of 10:30. In fact, by 10:30 itself, the straddle premium decayed by 50%. So that's a kind of a decay it was there. And also the underlying also started moving slow. It was not like a continuous big green candles that will push the IVs high. So because of this, the linear decay was there. And during this fall, I think it was a small loss, unlike previous expiries. I think my account was in sort of 0.1 to 0.15% loss, but then this decay helped, and then it quickly came into the green. And after this, so Nifty was trying to, it was not trying to break the yesterday's high and all, because that was pretty much long from here, but it couldn't go further, and then it was a classic consolidation, except this red candle, it came down, but then the decay was helping, right? So it's I would say, for the rest of the day, until 1:30, it was a clean decay. So there was this particular point, so this, when this was falling, right? So here, let's mark this. So let's say, this is the day high. I'm just, excluding this spike. But if you look at, the healthy days high, this is kind of a day high. From there, Nifty started falling, formation of in an intraday, like, sort of lower highs and lower bottoms. It's a downward channel. Okay, even if you mark here or anywhere here, so it was a downward channel. So this is how it was going down. But if you see, it was probably moving in the range of I think 40-50 points, for predominant of time. So as a result of that, straddle premium continued to fall, and this is one candle. I think Nifty was attempting to break the swing low. So this was the swing low, if you see on a daily chart. So this is the swing low. It tried to break, but it could not succeed. So there was a bit of a spike on puts, but it's not like hell of a spike where the straddle premium goes up by 30-40%. So during this phase, by this time the straddle premium was already low. You don't believe, by I think 130, the straddle premium was trading around, I think, 25 rupees, things and all, around 25-30 rupees. So if you still have another 2 hours to go for the expiry and the straddle premium is falling, trading around 25 to 30, it would be too demotivating to let your orders punch and take the positions and all. But as a system traders, we never know how and when the markets will give a sweet surprise. So I have let the system to continue to trade on its way, and the systems was taking the positions during this time, for at different times, like be it 1 or 120 or 130 or whatever the times, the regular timings and all. So the killer move came at 155. I think those who would have traded here, so they all know, like, what happened here. So until this fine. So the moment Nifty started breaking above this downward channel, so there was a up move. The calls started spiking. I was looking at, I think, one strike away OTM. I think it was 800, 24,800 and 850. Yeah, 850. It moved from, I think, 2 rupees to I think like 10 rupees or 10-15 rupees and all. So basically the OTM strikes, they shot up 4 to 5 times, and even the ATM calls shot up by, I think, 2.53 times. So that's the kind of a move. And not only that, so because the day was very smooth, all these entries, so they were all accumulating a kind of a good premium. And in terms of the position sizing also, I had almost like a full position size by this time. I think I would say 85 to 90% position size. So all those positions, most of the calls got hit here. So before this move came, in fact, my account was in sort of, I think, 0.7% profit. But at the end of this move, I think I gave up sort of, I think, 60% of the profits, because it's not only the 24,800 straddles. When this happened, so my algos entered some of my algos entered 24,750 straddles as well, and which entered with a skew. Skew was something like, the calls got somewhere like 55, 56, and the puts were something like 10 rupees or 11 rupees premium. So it's a very, very skew, big skew towards the calls. So these kind of skews will help you, if the underlying continues to consolidate or it goes in your direction. Basically in this, if it had ended at 24,750, it would have been very good. But when you get a premiums with such a skew, and the move happens in your opposite way. In my case, in this case, the Nifty went up, so obviously the 750 straddles, which entered with premium of like 50 to 55, so they took a big hit, especially the strategies with the large stop loss and all. They took a big hit here because of that, and also many of the 800 straddles also, 24,800 straddles also took a hit on the call side, and as a result of that, 60% of the profit gone. But then, so I think from here onwards, Nifty tested the kind of day's high, but it couldn't break day's high, and then started consolidating very slowly. So it's almost like a 230 from 215 onwards. I mean decay already started once again. So after this move, and then the Nifty started consolidating, from 24,830 till 3 o'clock. So it probably moved in a range of I think just 25 to 30 points, right? So as a result of that, the good thing is the premium came down so steadily, and some of the positions which were entered after 2 o'clock, they also took an advantage of this premium decay, and it brought the day back into the it couldn't recover the complete losses, profits that I gave up during this up move, but I think the most of it significant profits it's recovered. So I think I was in a peak of 0.7% profit, but at the end of the day I ended with 0.58% profit on my account size. So some of the key things is I think I do have some counter breakout strategies which are directional ones. So some of them which entered, it's not some of, I think one or two which entered here, so they got into the good profits, and so there was a spike of I think 10-15% in the small range. So that triggered some of the strategies which enters on the spikes, and then regular strategies with a different combination of less correlated or non-correlated, all of them triggered. But afternoon was not a great until 2 o'clock. Morning was pretty good. I think most of the profit came from morning. Afternoon, so it was okay till till 155, but then this move took out all the afternoon entries, profits. It was literally looking like all the afternoon entries were in a red, but then after 2 o'clock, so all these entries and some of these entries also kind of turned into the green, and these entries, all of them, I think most of them, they ended green. Okay, and surprisingly, by the market close, Nifty in fact broke the day's low, and it slightly closed below the yesterday's low as well. But luckily, this particular move, most of this fall, and if you look at from 3 o'clock, Nifty fell by I think almost like a 65 to 70 points. But I think out of this 70 points, the bigger move, like 35 to 40 points move, it came in the last 5 minutes. But as you know, by 325, once you start from the 3 o'clock, the averaging that kicks in. So because of the averaging, so there was no impact on the positions I was holding, be it 750 positions and 24,800, 24,750 and 24,800. Some of them are calls or puts, and some of them are straddles and strangles. So, but luckily, major chunk which entered from here, I think they were all in 24,800 straddle, so which almost went to kind of a 3 or 4 rupees before this particular move happened. But even after this move, I think straddle 24,800 straddle ended at around like a 6 or 600 rupees. But I think most of my positions exited at from, let's say, from 310 to 325, 326 levels and all. It was kind of, the straddle premium was almost came down to 3 rupees, 4 rupees, 2 rupees or 5 rupees. That's the range. So that was a good recovery. So as you could see, so this is how the straddle premium also decayed. So I think it closed around 7 rupees at the end of the day. So otherwise, I think compared to the last month and previous weeks, many of the expiries, this is a pretty clean and neat expiry, except for the first 10 minutes of a bit of a trouble, and also this move which has taken out the some of the profits, but no major complaints. This is a decent expiry, and MTM was pretty much in control. Until here, it was gradually the MTM was going down. So this hiccup, but then the algos pulled back all the profits. They sort of gave it up here. So with this this account ended with 1.22 lakhs profit, and this account 24,000 profit, and this another account, this ended with 95,000 profit. I think overall it's a profit of 2.41 lakhs approximately, which is approximately I think 0.58 percentage profit on my overall capital. So let me just move back to this. In terms of the underlying, I think broader market today, again, like last Tuesday, it's a broad-based selling, especially the small, mid-cap and micro-caps. I mean, they are all fell by almost like a 1.5 to 2 percentage, and most of the sectoral indices, except autos and consumption. So I mean, be it reality, I mean, everything. So everything fell down. So the Nifty is just down by I think minus 0.1 percentage. So which is not a big deal. I think what was saving is Reliance has not given up today, and HDFC Bank. These two are big JUNs. So they did not fall today. I think maybe it's mainly because of that. So Nifty has not fallen big. Otherwise, even I think we would have seen another probably I think 50 to 70 points down. So from where it has ended up today. So that's all I wanted to cover. I'll see you in my next episode on coming Tuesday. So until then, so take care. This is Reddy signing off. Thanks for watching.